Welcome to Two Bottles Deep. We're a podcast where we venture into the world armed with humor, sarcasm, and a willingness to admit when we're wrong. Well, most of the time.
And our goal is to have open and honest conversations while we discuss topics that affect us as humans and as gay men.
And thank you so much for listening. And now it's time to get Two Bottles Deep.
I didn't.
Yeah, thank goodness you can edit text.
So I've been putting like, oh, I meant to say this. He's like, just go in and edit. So that's where
I
I am.
love the edit option on text.
I've seen where people's like, this is edited. So I'm like, what did they really say?
Well, no, if you misspell something, I like my text to be perfect. So,
True.
I mean, or a word that's supposed to be funny, or it'll do, instead of, FUCK, it'll do duck. Like,
oh, yeah.
Who says duck you?
You know what? Yeah. Why is that ever a thing?
Yeah.
I said, I meant to put, are you gymming today, bro? And it typed it to, you fuming today, bro?
So, are you gymming today?
Gymming, going to the gym. But it was quicker to say gymming.
Yeah. Is that a thing? Do you say that?
You gymming.
But do you say that?
Yeah. I just wanted to type it because I didn't know what else to say.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Like, are you going to the gym? That's not what they would
How
have
about
said.
gym question mark?
Oh, yeah. That would have been good.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go.
Yeah.
I was just knowing if
Okay.
I just wanted to know
I'm
if
not
he
going.
was going. It's like, where are you at? You're not at the office.
Oh, what's new with you, baby?
Okay. I need dating advice.
Oh, she's dating again.
Maybe it's not even dating. So I met someone at CMA Fest. And we were all there together, right? And then he invited me to a pool party, but I think he's straight. But I don't know. Now I'm overthinking it. It's like the pool party is like the next weekend. So I don't know.
Well, first of all, how did he invite you to a pool party?
Text.
And did it say, do you want to go to a pool party?
Do you want me to bring it up?
It depends on how long it takes.
Right, sing a song.
Sing a song
about the heartland.
No, because first of all, all right,
oh, here it is.
You want dating advice, but you think he's straight.
Yeah.
What did it say? What did the text say?
Anyway, great to connect. Good luck with. I had some stuff going on at work, so good luck with that. You're gonna be in town this Saturday, and then sent me the pool party invite.
Oh.
And apparently he's a non-drinker. I said, well, I'm a non-drinker. Maybe I'll stop by. I said, I do have stuff on this day. He's like, solid. Why
do you think he's straight?
Because he said solid.
You say bra all the time.
True. I don't know. Like I'm putting myself back out there after a year and a half. I don't know how to take things because normally I guard myself, right? So I will, if somebody's like saying something to me, I'm like, oh, they're being nice to me. And then they walk away and you're like, oh, they were hitting on you. And I'm like, no, they weren't. All right. Yeah, they were. But because I guard myself because I don't want to be let down. This is a prime example of that.
Hold on. You haven't been let down yet. But first of all, you were initially attracted to him physically.
Right.
Okay. And then did you initiate the conversation or did he?
We were in a suite. So it like everybody was like talking to each other.
And at what point did you have one-on-one with him?
In the suite.
But did you initiate the one-on-one? Did he initiate the one-on-one?
Yeah. It was like during the concert. So I feel like everybody was like talking to each other.
Was there any like, grab my arm? Where you like bump into somebody or like grab their elbow? Or, no. So no touching.
Yeah. And I had a gal pal there with me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people thought like we were together because I'm so masculine.
Doubt it.
You know.
So are you going to go to the pool party? Because this is not a date, by the way. It's just some person inviting you to a pool party.
See, that's my thing. I never know.
But who cares? I mean, first of all, would it matter? If he were straight, would you go to the pool party?
Yes, absolutely.
If he were gay, would you go to the pool party?
Absolutely.
Then you're going to the pool party.
Well, no, I can't. I have such...
Did you? We literally spent 4 minutes and 23 seconds on something you're not even going to do.
But we're going to do something else because I have stuff that day. I have a massage.
So are you going to say, can't do the pool party? Let's grab coffee.
Oh my God. That's what I said.
Well, you say that to everybody, I think. What did he say?
Great. I'm down for coffee or a jog.
A jog? First of all, did you tell him you jogged?
No. And look at me. Like he knows I don't jog.
Who says I'm down for a jog?
I looked ripped most of the time. I did that night. The lights were out. It was dark.
Who says down for a
oh,
jog?
wait till you see what I said. I said, let's do it, bro. Don't roll your eyes at me.
With this bro stuff.
And I said, I'm a non-drinker, so actually I will go for a mocktail or coffee or a jog. Perfect. I'll shoot you a message.
So you did agree to the jog.
Well, or coffee.
You're going to have to jog.
Coffee, then I'll just wrap.
How are you going to talk while you jog?
No, I won't. I will die.
I hate when people do that. You go on a run and they're like, "What'd you do last weekend?" I'm like, "I'm currently just trying to get oxygen into my body."
But that's the thing, because I do, like, I'm attracted to him, but those are the people I'm attracted to, and those people you don't know if they're gay.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, it should be a compliment to him if you said you thought he was gay and you wanted to go out. He should take that as a compliment.
Super compliment. And I love, and it's not a question of not being friends. Like, I will be friends with this dude. Like, really, really cool guy. So
that's, you've either got a new friend, a new boyfriend, or who knows?
Or hey, maybe a guest on the show.
Maybe a jogging friend.
Maybe a jogging friend.
Yeah.
I do want to get one of those. Like, Nashville has the runner groups.
What is
that?
Have you
seen those? They're like people that don't run.
So you just sit and watch the people that run?
You go running as a group.
But you don't run.
No.
But what?
Because you want to run, but you also don't want to join a running group where they run 3-minute miles.
Oh, so
it's
this
kind of
is
like
just
an intro. Hey, I'm not a runner. Oh, you're not a runner? Let's go run. But we don't have the stigma of you have to have a 7-minute, 35-second mile.
Like, we've got 1 hour. We got to go 3 blocks. So let's get started.
Oh, and that's why you're on the stand-up stage, Phil.
I went to see Bad Boy, the new Bad Boys movie.
That reminds me of
Will Smith. I think it's Bad Boys 4, maybe.
They have a lot of them.
So I made the decision to go see it at Opry Mills in the 4D IMAX theater. Now, I think I've talked about 4D before, but just as a reminder, 4D is where the movie chairs move along with the movie, depending on what is going on scene. Along with that, there is air things beside each ear. So anytime a gun is shot, a bullet goes past your ear with a thing of air. Yeah.
Oh my
Anytime
goodness.
water is involved, it sprays in your face. And then there's lasers. So I really regret doing this. I'm sitting, I have a rule at the movies. When I get food, I cannot eat the food until the movie starts. So I have fat-free nachos with fat-free cheese and a massive Dr. Pepper. And I'm sitting in my seat and I'm with my friend Antoine, and he's like, "Why aren't you eating?" I'm like, "I cannot eat until this starts. It's my rule." The movie starts, and the opening scene is a car chase with gun battle. I am thrown violently. Wes, the lady beside me was thrown out of her chair. She's screaming. I have nachos all over me. There's like bullets going past us. Water. I'm like, by the end of the movie, I was exhausted. I literally came home and was like, I need to lay down.
I need it out.
I don't know why I chose to do this. So I'm just warning y'all, if you want a violent, traumatic event for under $100, I say go on a date.
Okay.
To Bad Boys 4.
That is really intense. Okay, so did you finish the nachos, or did they go on the floor?
I finished all the ones that I could eat.
Left.
And then I was like, there's one chip, but it's not on the floor. And it's only been there a few seconds.
And how much is this movie?
I want to say it's like 21 bucks.
Oh, okay. I was thinking a normal movie was that. I thought this was going to be $57.
No. I'm almost positive, because the two of us ended up being like 40, 48 or something.
So for that amount of
it's
action.
really fun, but it's hard to I don't necessarily know what happened in the movie, because the whole time I was like, anytime a car started, I was like, here goes. Hang on.
You're like, your arm goes over the lady next to you just to buckle her in.
She was ready to. Anytime anything would start, she'd be like, oh God. And she'd lean back. So yeah, if you want to have some fun, y'all, Bad Boys 4.
Okay, so I don't remember. I remember now you said something about going to a movie like this, but I forgot about 4D.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would they ever play like Bridesmaids in there?
I don't know. I think
like,
for me, the 4D needs to be. I saw Avatar in
Oh,
4D.
that would be
And
good.
that was good, but like 4 hours, Avatar is like a 4 hour freaking movie.
Mhm.
By the end of it, I was like, I couldn't be still because I was just so used to being thrown around. But I think they just do like action movies. I don't know if they do, love
Oh,
stories or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. It's like Legally Blonde
But it was fun.
4D.
Super fun.
Okay, I have a random question for you.
All right. Hit me.
A friend was going to a friend's wedding and like no one wanted to be there
Okay.
because of the relationship. And anyway, what would you do if you were invited to a friend's wedding and none of your friend group wanted to go and you were there?
Where's the wedding?
A chapel, a beach, the mountains.
So-
That plays a factor.
Yeah.
huh?
So my answer is going to be like, if it's in a cool location, I can make a few exceptions. Like
Right.
if it's going to be a fun weekend, or like I might go to a wedding that I don't necessarily know a bunch of people or care about them getting married or not. But what's the reason why they're not wanting them to get married?
They don't like the future wife.
Okay. So is the question, would I go to a wedding
Right.
if I
And
did
this has
not?
happened in my past. So it's just, it brought up, it's like, would you go? Like, literally, think of like I was getting married and all of our friends are like, we hate his future husband.
Mm.
I'm not supporting this. Right. What would you do?
Well, I guess it depends on how bad I didn't like the person. Like if it's like we don't get along and hate each other, and he cusses me out every time I see him, or she does, or whatever, like that's one thing. But if it's just like people don't like him because he's a dick, or he's a smart ass, or
Yeah.
he has one little personality trait that makes him unattractive. I mean, if she's choosing to be with this person, or this person is choosing to be with the other person, and they both agree on it, that's their decision.
Yeah.
I get to decide whether I want to go or not. And
Yeah.
that would all be based on how bad of an asshole this person was.
It was interesting because it was a big conversation with a lot of us, and it was for the intent was good, right? We want to celebrate people, but do you stand behind it? And yeah, and then it happened to a friend of ours too recently, and it just kind of jolted this memory of mine from a wedding I went to, and it just ended horribly. But I mean, to your point, this was a destination wedding, the one I
Mm.
went to, Puerto Rico. It was
I'm
so
going.
much fun.
I'm going.
But we had a blast.
Yeah.
We ended up, met new people, had a blast, had a good time. Marriage didn't last, but hey,
Honestly,
I did my part. I was there to support.
this is probably a controversial comment, but I don't care after the wedding if the couple stays together. I want a wedding. I want to have fun. I don't care. It doesn't have to be a plated dinner. You could serve shish kebabs and fries. I just want it to be good dancing, good entertainment, fun people. And then I don't care what you do. If you get divorced afterwards, whatever.
Yeah, it
I
was a
don't-
fun party.
It's a great party.
And the cake was great.
Delicious.
The amazing cake.
Yeah. I heard a news story. I think it was last week. So there is a dating app called Her, Her, and it was the first app that focused exclusively on lesbians, right? So we have Grinder, and Grinder, if you don't know, is dating, and I use that term loosely, a dating app for gay guys, but it also includes trans. There's trans people on there. There's straight people on there.
Mhm.
So
Lots.
the CEO and founder of the dating app Her, like I said, is a lesbian dating app, is upset because there is a new app being launched that will compete against this Her app. And the reason she's upset is because the new app, will use facial recognition technology to scan a prospective user's face on their smartphone to detect if someone is transgender or not. Supposedly with 99% accuracy. So this new app called LAP, L apostrophe APP, it's supposed to be for lesbians. It's a lesbian app.
Oh, that's where the L comes from.
But they're saying that they are going to be able to keep trans people off of this app by using facial recognition technology. So my question to you, and you and I've both been on dating apps, and
a few times.
yeah, and Grindr is the one we always use. It's just the most popular in terms of like usage, but there are trans people on Grindr that
Right.
there are some times when I'm like, why? Like, why? can't we have a trans
I thought of
dating app?
that. Yeah. I thought of
And
that.
then I'm like, well, why am I being like this?
Yeah,
So
'cause
I
some
understand why
gay
this
men
person wanted to start
right.
so what do you think? Do you think, first of all, this facial technology, facial recognition technology, I don't know how they
We're
scan to know if
here.
you're a trans person or not.
Yeah, I would like to see the technology or the science behind that. There's some Sarah McBride is a trans U.S. Congress. She's running for Congress in Vermont or Delaware, somewhere like that. And you look at her, I would not have a clue.
Hmm.
So I get that there's some people that may have a bigger bone structure,
But
and I guess you could tell, but we've also have seen trans people where you have no clue.
yeah.
So I don't know how that would work.
But also, I mean, do you think it's okay that an app is specifically trying to keep trans people off?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if there's an app that didn't want gay people on there, I wouldn't go on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's totally fine. Is there an upheaval about it?
Not really upheaval. It's just there was a little bit of backlash because it was released the 1st of June, which was Pride Month. And it supposedly has got some, hatefulness to it because it rules out a certain group of people in our community. Um,
But I don't want to. I don't want to say I don't want to date, but my initial thought, take it for what it's worth. I probably would not date a trans person, but that doesn't make me hateful. So if I want to be on, if there was a grinder with only gay men on it, I would want that app
yeah.
because I want to date a dude, right? But with grinder, I mean, you can't do a scan to know if they're straight and married because half the
Yeah.
guys on there are straight and married.
Yeah.
So DL mask, bro. But I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't think people are hateful about it. I think
No,
if you
I
are
agree.
not into someone, it doesn't mean you hate that community.
Just don't join that app if you don't want to deal with it.
There's an app for everything.
Yeah.
So you can go to Scruff, you can go to Christian Mingle, you can go to whatever.
Farmers
Plenty
only.
of fish, plenty of fish.
There was a because I was trying to figure out if the facial recognition technology, if it truly was 99% accurate, which is kind of scary. But I found a study. Colorado University at Boulder did a pretty extensive surgery about uh, facial recognition software, and it misidentified transgender people's gender more than 1/3 of the time. So, and this particular study, they are unable to tell if you're trans or not just by facial recognition.
Is this big of an issue to have all of this hoopla about it? Like, go
Unclear.
out, meet someone. If you're into them, you're into them. If not, you're not.
Yeah.
I
think the thing I would worry about is
going
if, like,
too
if I were on a dating site and the person did not designate that they were trans, and I developed a relationship with them, and then found out later, I might be a little butthurt.
But
Like,
that
why
can
didn't you?
happen
Oh, I know, but
in
I'm
the
saying, like,
club.
that's the point of the facial
Yeah.
recognition, perhaps, is to weed out those extra steps that you might have to run into.
Can I tell you something about technology?
I don't know if you can or not.
I'm going to tell you something. So I called Philip on my way over here, and I was just craving a pop from McDonald's. So Philip's like, "Here, give me a Dr. Pepper," and I was craving a Dr. Pepper. So I went through the drive-through, and the poor girl getting the pops. McDonald's has this thing now, Philip, where the cups, like, you don't even manually pour a soda anymore.
Mhm.
It's all manual. I have not seen this before. I don't know if they're the only ones that have it. Maybe they're not. But I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, and one of the cups got caught, and she did not know what to do. So it was just like this whole. She had to get the manager. They had to get a key, and what happened to the good old days 3 months ago that you just took a cup out? I mean, it's not. Maybe it is production. Henry Ford was really smart on this, and maybe Mr. McDonald is too. Okay, let's get the operations down smooth. But when can we slow down a little bit and just pour a pop?
But that's
Give
not
it
why
out
you
the
went. That's
window.
why you went through the drive-through, so you didn't have to slow it down a bit.
No, I didn't have to get out.
Well, yeah, but the reason
I mean,
one goes through a drive-through is to expedite my experience, right? And if they found that they can line up 6 cups and hit a button and it fills up all of those, that's going to expedite. But I agree with you. Once it messes up, there is a lack of, like, how do you fix, like, this kind of advanced
Now it's
technology
this-
quickly.
right?
Yeah.
And when when you're looking at it from a corporate standpoint, if it only happens once a month and it causes this damage, you're still overall making more money. But back
Yeah.
to humanity about it, it's just like pull a cup off, pour it. I would have been gone sooner. Now, overall, yes, they're making more money. They're a lot smarter than I am. There's a reason behind everything. But when we get talking about apps and facial recognition, people that rely on this bullshit, that's the problem. Like, just go out, meet people, or meet them on an app. How many times did Austin? Remember, we had Austin at the Underground on,
Mhm.
and he was a bouncer at a club we went to here in Nashville. And there was times where he would protect trans people because guys would dance on them thinking they were women, and they would not. Because he asked us, he's like, "If you're a trans person, shouldn't you tell them?" Like, and maybe if you're all drunk, you're not going to tell them, right? But there is a big danger because these drunk dudes or these dudes get drunk and then like they're going to fight a girl.
Yeah.
So it's like no facial recognition would stop that. And I'm just not fully technology, like into technology. It's taking over everything. And I think we just need to slow down. Also, I don't know why I got on that rant, but I think it was because of McDonald's.
Welcome back.
Anyway,
Mm.
so there you go.
There you go. Wes is mad.
Yeah, do it manually. Do you know in the Gilded Age?
Okay.
Oh my God, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I do. This missed the mailbag. I wanted to put it in there, but it missed the mailbag.
All
so
right.
it's going to come here.
Do we need an intro?
Yeah, you know what? Fire something up, Phil. Hey, that's a good one. And we're back with mailbag.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, Philip, I'm dying to know if you've had more interactions with the interracial couple you've had a few run-ins with. So again, I think that was a DM. It wasn't even an email.
Okay.
I didn't even put a name on here. Philip has neighbors and they're an interracial couple. And one day he's like, "Hey, did you go to see Beyonce?" And they're like, "Why would we go see Beyonce?" Or whatever it was.
I've made two comments, just kind of off the cuff comments that in retrospect came across perhaps not racist, but like, because you're black, I asked this type things. And then I'm paranoid now. That I was paranoid for a while that they thought that I was, racist. So then like every time I saw them, I was like, Juneteenth is almost here.
Did you see what Barack posted?
Yeah. But no,
Have you seen them?
I have seen them. They're good. Like, we're not like hanging out for Christmas, but I think we're past, the embarrassment that I've experienced. I know we are because they stop when I'm out on the porch when they're walking to get their mail, and they ask about what I'm doing over the weekend, and I never mentioned Beyonce or anything like that. So I think we're good.
He's probably like, "Honey, don't bring up the gay stuff." Are you gonna have a gay weekend? Pride.
I don't know if I'm gonna have a gay weekend. I'm gonna do I'll do QDP.
No, that's what I'm thinking they were saying.
Oh, I thought you were
like, it's like, okay, well, he's asking us this stuff. We're gonna
He's
ask
clearly
him.
gay.
Is a QDP coming up?
Yeah, QDP for Pride.
Oh, well, shucks. I gotta get up there.
What are your thoughts on UFOs?
Oh my God. So I did a gummy once and I thought I saw one. I don't think I
I
did.
thought you didn't do gummies.
Yeah, I've done a gummy. I'm tripping, man.
Oh, this is how he plays it off.
I did, and I couldn't drive home.
Just your one time doing a gummy?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe in them. I mean, New Mexico, I think there's extraterrestrials out there.
What? Extra professionals?
Torrentials.
Torrentials? Yes. What?
Now you have me laughing.
What is it? Extra?
Terrestrials. I can't say it now. My face won't move. I went to see Dr. Lauren Medwed today.
Extraterrestrial. All right. So do you believe in them?
She froze my face again. I can't talk. Yeah, I believe in them. Absolutely.
Okay.
And ghosts. I have seen ghosts.
Yeah. There was an article that sparked my interest 2 days ago. Former high-level officials and scientists with deep space experience who have always remained in the shadows have come forward on one platform. They have said that based on their experiences and the things that they've seen, that there are definitely unidentified aerial phenomena, which is what they call UFOs now. So it's UAP, not UFO. But they can prove that there are, in fact, unidentified aerial phenomena around Earth. And there's credible evidence that proves exotic technologies exist that could revolutionize the human experience.
What's an exotic technology?
I guess something that's different than what we've got.
That sounds like Grinder.
I
Speaking
don't
of
think the
which.
aliens have Grinder. But yeah, so we now know that there are UFOs. It's proven.
So how'd they prove it? I want to know, like, have they posted it somewhere or something
Well, they
like
can put it
that?
on their Instagram story, or
Yeah, how do, like, they could just be telling us this.
well, of course, yeah, of course they could be just telling us this, but this was at a meeting of like scientists who have been working in shadowy groups for the last many years. They're insiders. They have a long-standing connection to government agencies, which have been investigating these UAPs for a long time. So I think a lot of the
Huh.
reason is they, if you release information that there's UFOs, people can go crazy. So they're trying to like limit maybe the conspiracy theories or whatever about UFOs, but
Oh yeah.
this confirms them.
People do go a little crazy. I'm just here for the ride, right? I will see if something comes down. I'm not going to go crazy. I may talk about it. We may chat about it. Sit around a campfire and chat. I'm not going to go crazy. What are people on right now? You know?
If it landed, if a UFO, let's say you're at your parents' house, it's 9 p.m., your parents are in bed, you're sitting in the living room, and you hear the and then you see the light.
Down.
You look out the window and you don't have a bad vibe about it. Would you go out to the UFO? Would you?
Depends on the day I was having. Like, if I want to escape the world, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk.
Ringing the
I'm gonna
doorbell.
go on out. Yeah.
I
It's
think
like ET. You know, he was real.
I think I would go. Yeah, I just think
because you're curious.
but also like if I'm the first person to get taken by a UFO, can you imagine the news stories I would have?
Yeah, you'd make a lot of money.
I'd have a ton of money.
What if you never came back though?
Yeah, but
That's the
but what a
thing.
great story. Be like, did
Who
you hear
are
what
you-
happened to Philip?
Oh, I'd say, who are you going to tell? You didn't come back.
Yeah, but like you would know
You could go live on Instagram and then it'll cut off at some point.
when I leave the universe.
It cut out. Yeah, that
Um,
would be fun. Yeah, Philip's up there somewhere. It's like the submarine people that blew up the Titanic thing. Remember?
Yeah. How is the UFO like the
'Cause
submarine
they
people?
weren't heard from again.
Got it.
It's just the opposite way. It's down.
Yeah,
not
it's
up.
the exact same thing, but in a totally different way.
It's like I look like Bradley Cooper, but my face a little different.
It's
kinda like that.
Body and all that.
No, I've never thought of that. Have you seen a ghost?
I've not seen a ghost, but I have experienced. I've had two experiences of like spiritual connect, like not spiritual, like a connection with someone who's passed. But I
Okay.
didn't visibly see a ghost.
So what was that experience?
It was around when one of my best friends in DC died. Suddenly, was ran over by a bus, and the next day, he called me every morning for a year and a half on his way to work. And actually 2 days after his death, my phone rang, and it was his number. And I cannot express to you how like no one believes that this happened. I sat up in bed, I looked at it, I answered it because it was so normal and so routine for me. And then I remember putting it up to my ear, and there's nothing there. Like and I looked again, and it's like there's no call. And I'm like, maybe I dreamed it. So I said, okay, it's just a dream, not a big deal. And then 4 months later, I was living in Charlotte at the time. My partner and I had moved down there, bought a house. We're in the house. And one thing I kept from Mark, the one who died, was this little purple, silly looking dog that he gave me. And I had put it in the very bottom of a dresser drawer in the very back. And I'm sitting in the living room, and my dog walks in. There's no way this dog opened that drawer, took everything out, and got the little doggy. And he brought it in, put it on my lap, and sat down and just kind of looked at me. And I was like, hey, Mark.
Wow.
How you doing? So like stuff like that made me realize that there's probably some sort of connection. But ultimately not seen a ghost. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, there was 2. And I dream a lot. My grandparents come back to me. My friend RC comes back to me, and it is vivid. They're healthy. They're young. It almost like gives me just like a glimpse into the other side because I'm like, God, RC was ridden with cancer at 37,
Mm.
38 and passed, right? And like his dreams were at a concert and he's like, hey, how have you been? What's going on? It's just so real, right? But when I was in junior high, my parents had built a house, but there was a house there like years ago when my parents were like really little, right? There hadn't been a house there in years, but there's this big old house. And you know, when you see when you're a kid and you see an old house, you're like, oh my God, it's haunted.
Mhm.
It was like that, but in my parents' youth. So they had been gone for years. And now I wonder like what it looks like, who lived there. Because as I was watching TV one night, I look over at the staircase and there's a guy sitting there,
On the stairs?
sitting there looking over across the room at me. And then I look over to the right and there's a guy elevated. And it was the craziest thing. I look and I'm like, okay, maybe. And it was like midnight, right? I was in junior high. So I look around and I'm like, okay, I blinked because I'm like, okay, maybe it's a TV and I'm just seeing something. You know, when you turn a light off, you still that shine. Top hats. I mean, literally
Oh,
dressed,
so they're
dressed
dressed
like
like
Abe Lincoln.
yeah.
And it was the craziest thing. So I was like, oh my God, how old was that house that used to be here?
Yeah.
And it was our first year in this new house. And I'm like,
But did you
I
get a
didn't think
bad
new
vibe from
houses.
it? Or
No,
not a scary thing. It was, I mean,
looking back, I wish I would have stayed in that moment longer, but
Mhm.
I ran to the door, flipped on the lights. The light switches were right over by the sliding door.
yes.
And I ran upstairs. My room was not down there. And I'm like, oh my, it wasn't a creepy basement. It was not, it was just this brand new, like, so it's a spirit. So
Yeah.
that was my first thing. These spirits are coming to me. My parents laughed at me. They're not like making fun of me.
Yeah.
They're like, of course you would see one. Cause my great grandma always saw ghosts. And there was one time where my mom was a lot younger and she was sitting by grandma and grandma had kind of started losing it. But anyway, even before she did that, she would always see images and she's like, they're around us. And one time my mom like went outside and her cousin came out later and was like, because my mom saw this stuff and she's like, okay, I'm not, maybe that was me that saw this little girl standing by grandma. So I'm going to go because grandma had a daughter that died in infancy, had a white dress on. And then my mom went outside, was like, whew. Okay, it was just me. Her cousin came out and was shaking. It's like, did you just see what happened in there?
Hmm.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
And it's like they are among us. And I'm in a way, I'm like, I'm kind of excited to get to the other side. If I get to come back and haunt people, that'd be kind of fun.
I mean, but haunting is not really sitting on
Like
a stair.
a fun haunt.
Yeah, you're not going to be sitting on a stair in somebody's house just staring.
I would be sitting.
I'd just be walking. You know what I would do if I were a ghost?
What?
I would just like knock stuff off, just like
Like
you
a
know,
cat.
off a just knock a glass off, or turn the alarm clock around.
Yeah,
or, you know, just little things.
Fuck with the time.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So no, I believe in it. UFOs, absolutely. We can't be the only earthlings out there,
Agreed.
right?
Before we finish, babe, I found we talk a lot about dating because you and I are both attempting to do that. And there was I found a really, you know, we love studies. This is like the study of all studies about dating apps, statistics about all the dating apps and the people that are using them. So I pulled out a few of these statistics I think are really, really interesting. All right.
Give it to me.
In no particular order. 27% of 18 to 34-year-olds using dating apps, they used it because they want to boost their self-esteem. I never thought about using an app for that, but I guess
usually
like
like
subconsciously I
diminishes.
do. Well, no, but if you get a like, if you got several people that like
Social
you,
media, right? So the same thing,
Yeah.
right? You want to like, you want to be in on.
7% of people in the U.S. using dating sites use them to cheat on their significant other. 7%.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Surprised it's not higher.
I agree. I totally agree based on Grindr.
All 7% are there trying to cheat with dudes.
25% of online daters are talking to at least 6 people at the same time. That's something to keep in mind, because if you're trying to figure out why this person's not giving you 100% of their time, it's because they've split it up 20% to everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very important to be mindful of that. and not to stay on someone so much or get on them because they didn't respond. You don't know what type of day they had. You don't know who else they're responding to. And honestly, if it's going to go somewhere, they're going to pick you anyway,
Right.
and get you there.
What do you think? What percentage of people have been catfished on dating apps?
Oh, God. It's got to be like 40%.
Very close. 35% have been catfished. And then guys swipe right on what percentage of profiles? So that's a guy that likes a profile. What percentage of time do guys swipe right?
Okay, this question's confusing me because I feel people just swipe to swipe.
Well, think
See who
about
they
yes or
connect with.
no. Yeah. But I guess people are doing that too. But what do you think? Because we're also going to talk about what percentage of women do that.
Okay.
So what percentage of men do you think swipe right?
It's got to be higher than women. So I'm going to say 30%.
All right. And what do you think women is?
Like 10.
Men swipe right 47% of the time, and women 12%.
Ooh.
So women are a lot more not judgmental, but they're a lot maybe specific about what they
Right.
want, right? They're not willing to give in to talk to somebody randomly if they're not.
And we are. I feel.
Oh, I'm like, they've got ears, I've got ears. We can chit chat.
No, I've been around some gal pals. I'm like, oh, he's cute. They're like, no. And I'm like, that's literally your type. Nope.
Oh,
and that's why I knew
if I
women
let people Tinder for me, if girls Tinder for me, judgy. Oh no, you could never be with him. I'm like, well,
but is it a bad judgy or are they really looking out for us?
Probably both.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, nope, not yours, not yours. And I'm like, but to your point, we're gay dudes and there's so many people out there like,
yeah,
they're upright. That's great.
All right. This was the one that really got me. So this is specifically about Match.com, which is one of the biggest dating websites out there. On Match.com, what percentage of profiles are inactive?
70%.
98% of Match.com profiles are inactive. And of the active ones, of the 2% that are active, what percentage of those are men?
70.
Close, babe. 80%. So dudes are literally taking over Match. They're swiping on everything.
And there's like 12 women on there.
Yeah, 12 women.
Yeah. Does Match, so that was one of the first dating websites out there. And then apps, because that was before apps were on phones.
Yeah.
So you had to be on a computer. I wonder, have they went to like an app-based thing too, I wonder?
Match.com?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Because that's where I met my first boyfriend.
I know I did it, but I don't remember ever getting the app for it.
Way back in the day. Yeah. It was like $60 a month or something.
Which means my profile is inactive and yours is inactive.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's been around so long, people are just like not even on there anymore. That's I forgot about Match.
Good old Match.
Dang.
Well, babe,
bro.
I'm not sure if we covered anything specific, but I enjoyed this conversation.
Well, I know I'm not going to a pool party.
Yeah. No, you're not, because you are busy with your inactive profiles.
Yes. This was fun, Boo.
Yeah, it was.
And if y'all ever want to be on the show or have a crazy idea, please email 2bottlesdeep@gmail.com.
That's right. We hope y'all have. Yeah, babe, that was
Just
good.
wanted to use my radio voice.
I noticed.
One last time today.
Good.
I do it at work, and then I go British. And then I just do it after lunch.
All right.
All right.
This is where Wes never knows when to stop.
Do you know
this
when
is
Tammy
when
first got
we
to
do
town?
this. All right.
Oh, it's Pride
All right, y'all.
Month.
Thank you for listening. We appreciate y'all a lot. And babe, I hope you have a good week.
You too, Phil. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, babe.
Episode of 2 Bottles Deep. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have a crazy show idea, email us at 2bottlesdeep@gmail.com or hit us up on the old Instagram.
And we really do appreciate you listening to today's show. And when you get the chance, go back and listen to our other episodes, because Lord knows you have nothing better to do. Got him.